Sean Carter.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do this.
Noah Wyle isn't the only actor with ties to both Cook County General and Pittsburgh Trauma Medical Center. Though HBO Max's The Pitt is in no way, shape or form a continuation of ER, the two medical dramas share more than a few connections. Several key creatives overlap, including series creator R. Scott Gemmell, executive producer John Wells, and physician-writer Joe Sachs, along with a growing list of familiar faces in front of the camera. So TVLine tracked every performer who has appeared on both Doctor dramas, as well as which ER episodes they appeared in, should you decide to take a stroll down memory lane as you await new episodes of The Pitt.
Hold it.
You caught me, and I was almost over the wall.
Long before she became Pittsburgh Trauma Medical Center charge nurse Dana Evans on The Pitt, Katherine LaNasa guest starred on ER. Despite their shared TV lineage, LaNasa has no memory of crossing paths with Noah Wyle during her brief stay at County. She told TVLine, "I don't even think I met Noah at the time." She did recall meeting Maura Tierney thanks to a mutual connection. Tierney had starred on News Radio with Vicki Lewis, while LaNasa appeared alongside Lewis on another NBC sitcom, Three Sisters. LaNasa appeared in Season 9, Episode 4 as Janet Wilco, an overly flirtatious mum who winds up in a storage closet with Goran Visnic's Dr. Luka Kovac.
Oh. Excuse me.
When auditioning for the role, she told TVLine she had watched The English Patient the night before, saying, "I was inspired by Kristen Scott Thomas to tap into that part of my sexuality required for that role. And I got it. I remember thinking, like, yeah, the old girl got the part."
Well, that explains it.
Before stepping into the role of Dr. Jack Abbott on The Pitt, Shawn Hatosy made a lasting impression on ER, guest starring in Season 13, Episode 7 as Willis Payton, a patient suffering from dissociative identity disorder.
Get out while you can before Kevorkian starts sticking you!
The episode was directed by The Pitt executive producer John Wells, marking the beginning of a creative partnership that would span decades. Hatosy told TVLine how the experience led to future collaborations with Wells. The actor starred on TNT's Southland, which ran for 5 seasons, and Animal Kingdom, which ran for 6. Hatosy said, "That one role changed everything. When you're doing a guest spot, you just don't know who you're going to change the mind of for the future." The partnership entered its 3rd decade in 2024 when Wells enlisted Hatosy to recur on both The Pitt and Fox's short-lived Rescue High Surf. The Pitt earned him his first Emmy for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series in 2025. On The Pitt, Michael Hyatt recurred throughout Season 1 as Pittsburgh Trauma Medical Center Chief Medical Officer Gloria Underwood. The administrator was a persistent thorn in Robbie's side, pushing for improved patient satisfaction scores in an already strained emergency department.
There's a lot of OFI. Opportunities for improvement.
Well, you could have just said that.
I need you to care.
18 years earlier, Hyatt appeared in Season 13, Episode 12 of ER as Yvonne, a New Orleans expat who lost everything, including her husband in Hurricane Katrina, and ultimately had part of her leg amputated. It was a memorable one-off, particularly because Yvonne was the final patient treated by Laura Innes's Dr. Kerry Weaver before her resignation from County General. On The Pitt, Tracy Vilar recurs as Pittsburgh Trauma Medical Center ward clerk Lupe Perez, spending much of her screen time stationed behind a waiting room window. Late in Season 1, however, as PTMC's frontline heroes responded to a mass casualty event, Lupe was pulled into a far more harrowing role. Alongside social worker Kiara Alfaro, she helped reunite anxious family members with shooting victims, or in some devastating cases, assisted with identifying the dead. 28 years earlier, Vilar appeared in 2 episodes of ER as Doris, a drug-addicted patient who first sought medical attention in one of the series' most memorable hours, the live Season 4 premiere, Ambush. She returned 3 weeks later in Season 4, Episode 4, in which Doris unexpectedly went into labour and delivered a stillborn, blaming nurse Carol Hathaway for her baby's death. On The Pitt, Ernest Harden Jr. recurred in Seasons 1 and 2 as frequent flyer Louis Cloverfield, appearing in 11 episodes. When Louis died of a massive pulmonary hemorrhage from end-stage liver failure in Season 2, Episode 6, we learned that decades earlier, he'd lost his pregnant wife in a car accident, a trauma that shattered his life and sent him spiralling into alcoholism. 24 years before landing at PTMC, Harden Jr. guest starred in Season 7, Episode 17 of ER. Not as a patient, but as the unnamed son-in-law of a demented woman, Mrs. Howard, who got hold of a policeman's gun and was fatally shot by another officer. On the Pitt, Shu Lan Tuan recurred in Season 1 as Ginger Kitachima, an elderly patient whose daughter Rita brought her in after a fall into a rose bush. In need of around-the-clock care, Ginger's condition placed visible strain on Rita as a caregiver, yet Ginger remained upbeat, particularly when Dr. Robbie indulged her request for a dance. 21 years earlier, Tuan appeared in Season 11, Episode 7 of ER as Mrs. Pack, the mother of Micha, who arrived at County with stomach pain and unexpectedly gave birth to a healthy baby boy. After Carter broke confidentiality and told Mrs. Pack the truth, she voiced fears that her staunchly conservative husband would refuse to let their daughter return home. On the Pitt, Drew Powell recurred in Season 1 as patient Doug Driscoll, who arrived at PTMC with chest pain only to spend hours sitting in chairs.
Everybody is seen as quickly as possible and in order of medical care needed.
Unless they die waiting.
He ultimately turns disruptive and combative, leaving against medical advice, but not before confronting charge nurse Dana and punching her in the ambulance bay. 17 years before his time on the HBO Max medical drama, Powell appeared in Season 14, Episode 16 of ER as Dennis Voltaire, a father of 12 whose wife, pregnant with their 13th child, was rushed to County after a car accident. Fortunately, both mother and baby pulled through. On the Pitt, Jenny O'Hara appeared in the Season 2 premiere as patient Candice O'Grady. Under the care of Dr. Samira Mohan, Candice confided that she stopped taking her prescribed medication after discovering what she believed to be an alternative treatment.
There's a dispensary next door, and we got some marijuana.
She explained that she had since taken to consuming large quantities of pot-laced cookies, resulting in intractable vomiting. 30 years earlier, O'Hara appeared in back-to-back episodes of ER as floor nurse Rhonda Sterling. First pulled down from the ICU in Season 3, Episode 6 to assist Carol Hathaway, Rhonda struggled with the pace of County's emergency department and accidentally handed Carol the wrong injectable during a trauma. After a second critical error in the following episode led Carol to write her up, Rhonda revealed that she was just 9 months away from her pension, and that someone higher up was deliberately floating her into unfamiliar departments in an attempt to get her fired. Rather than endure further humiliation, she decided to quit, forfeiting her pension altogether.
I am not going to let you put me through the humiliation of a review board. Not after 22 years.
On the Pitt, Rusty Schwimmer recurred as retired hospital clerk Monica Peters, who returned as a favour to Dana after the hospital went analogue to fend off a cyber attack. 31 years before her time at the admin desk, she guest starred opposite Noah Wyle in Season 1, Episode 22 of ER as Miss Grolman, a homeroom teacher who rushes her diabetic student to County. On the Pitt, Jeff Kober recurred in Season 2 as Duke Eakins, a motorcycle engineer who helped Robbie bring his 1969 Bonneville back to life after rescuing it from a junkyard. After he was admitted as a patient, tests reveal that the lifelong smoker had an unidentified but potentially serious swelling in his chest cavity that required further evaluation. 24 years before portraying a reluctant patient, Kober guest starred in Season 9, Episode 8 of ER as a husband and father of 2 whose wife and sons are struck by a drunk driver. After his wife dies, he faces a nearly impossible choice. To save one son, he must agree to take the other off life support so his organs can be donated to his brother. TVLine exclusively reported that Mary McCormack had been cast in the Pitt Season 2 as PTMC neurosurgeon Dr. Linda Conley, who made her debut in Episode 13. The role reunited McCormack with Wyle 20 years after her recurring turn on ER, where she appeared in 6 episodes. Season 10, Episodes 2 and 10, and Season 12, Episodes 14, 15, 19 and 20, as Darfa clinic physician Debbie.
This place would drive anybody to drink.
Of course, the face of both ER and The Pitt is Noah Wyle, who earned 5 consecutive Emmy nominations for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series for his role as Dr. John Truman Carter III. And 26 years after his last nomination, secured his first win in 2025 for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series for his turn as Dr. Michael Robbie Robinovich.
Thank you for everything you did here today.
In the first of several interviews with TVLine tied to The Pitt Season 1, Wyle reflected on how the project evolved as its creative focus sharpened. He said, "The idea was to take a look at what was happening to the people that were on the front lines and seeing how there appeared to be 2 different healthcare systems in our country, those for people who have money and insurance, and those who don't. The more we went down that road, the more the point got obscured in the reunion aspect, the retread aspect, the reboot aspect. So I was not sorry when we were forced to pivot away from ER and figure out how to tell the story in a new way." That pivot, along with making the series for streaming rather than network television, ultimately expanded its creative possibilities. Wyle explained, "Because you're no longer bound by standards and practices and language barriers, you really can paint with all the colours on the palette." Which ER star would you love to see on The Pitt? Let us know in the comments and head to tvline.com for more of Ryan Schwartz's breakdowns of The Pitt and all your other primetime favourites.